Okay, so as promised, we now shift back to the last speaker from the first cluster. Anyway, Ms. Lagon has actually already quite introduced him. He is actually the third speaker on the resiliency cluster or talk. So he will be talking about scoping about the burgeoning non-woven textile industry in the Philippines. Our speaker has technical competencies in a wide range of experience in the oil and gas industry in the Philippines and in Singapore. And he came back to maximize the potential of their company and provide state-of-the-art non-woven products that can help boost the Philippine non-woven textile industry and hopefully the economy as a whole. We got this over Facebook, that he obtained his BS in Mechanical Engineering from the University of the Philippines in Diliman, summa cum laude, the first for the UP College of Engineering's Mechanical Engineering Department in its very long history. He's quite young. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Chief Executive Officer of 5 Cent Global Corporation, please welcome Engineer Stanley Jordan G. Siaitiong.
Thank you, Sir Julius. Thank you for the kind words. Didn't know that you checked me out in Facebook. Tinago ko pa naman yun eh. Anyway, so thanks for the quick introduction. So thank you again, Director Celia, for inviting me here to have a short talk on non-woven industry. First thing that I did when I was looking at, when I was invited by PTRI, is to understand what does burgeoning mean. Kasi nga medyo high level eh. So good thing there's Google. So basically, burgeoning just means that it's fast-growing, it's flourishing. So indeed, our non-woven industry has been flourishing and has been growing in the past few months just because of this pandemic. And I share to you why. But before that, who here knows what does non-woven mean? Parang wala pa, no? Baka yung mga expert lang. So good thing, I made it as simple as possible so that you guys can at least understand what it means now. So basically, I'm Stanley Siaitiong. You can call me Stanley. I'm the CEO, President of 5 Cent Global Corporation. We're just a small family business. It's just me, my dad, and my mom, basically. But we have about combined 50 years experience on non-woven industry because we are manufacturers of non-woven here in the Philippines. So it's good for us to be able to share to you what it means, what it is. Then from there, you'll be able to at least have more things to look at how it works. Okay, so what is non-woven? How does this? Next na lang. Okay, so what are non-wovens? Basically, non-wovens are polymer made. So a while ago, it was discussed that most of our fabrics are organic and non-synthetic. So this one is synthetic. It's polymer made. It's made from polypropylene plastics. But don't be surprised because pag sinabing plastic, medyo pangit agad pakinggan eh. But no, it's not something bad because these plastics are things that we can recycle. Same as what was discussed a while ago by Ms. Anna from Bio. They are randomly laid in an order and made into a sheet. So what does it mean like? So it's not similar to our weave type, our knitted type. It's not the normal one that you do spinning, do the yarn, then from the spinning, then you'll be able to do the weaving part. When you look at how it looks like, woven part is like this. This is how it really looks like. You really weave it. Then knitted part, you knit it also. But when you look at one woven, this is how it looks like. It's randomized. So how does it work? Pero pag randomized, they just stick to each other. So how does it work? It's usually randomized, but it's not mechanically bonded physically. So it's bonded on the thermal basis. So you heat it up and you squeeze it and you'll be able to do the sheet. So its physical properties can easily be modified. So a while ago, Ms. Carissa was saying that our material or our edge is our innovation. And being something like a non-woven, the innovation here is to be able to really modify and have material manipulation on that specific physical properties. Most of the materials that we have, they have varying degrees of strength. They also have softness, absorbency, and filtering capabilities. So these are just very, very common type on its functionalities. But there's still more when you look at it. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so what are the characteristics? I won't go through the technical details. Technical details might be too boring for us, especially medyo 12 o'clock na gutom na yung mga tao. But I'll just share to you some very high-level characteristics. Agitex, that's our main trademark. So when you ask Agitex, that's basically nonwoven from our company. These are the main high-level characteristics. Definitely the weight, same as our cotton fibers. Its fiber size, its mesh size, capillary density. Capillary density is very important. Later, I will share to you what's the reason for that one. Mean fiber diameter and also their mean temperature stability. Since it's thermoformed, you need to also know what is the stability temperature for this type of material. Some functionality, number one, thermobonded. So basically, you don't weave it, you do not knit it. It's soft and comfortable because your properties, you can really modify it as per what is needed. It has excellent bidirectional strength. So what does that mean? It means that you can either be water repellent, water absorbent, alcohol repellent, alcohol absorbent. You can even introduce or put additional nanoparticles just to make sure that you'll be able to have certain characteristics for it. It has good strength and elongation, so it's not only used for fabrics, for textile, for garments, but also used for other industries as well. Control of permeability, same as a while ago, rejection of water. Air permeability, so this is one thing that we're looking into because what we're seeing is that most of our materials that we use, especially for PPEs, are very uncomfortable. To share to you, my sister is a doctor. She's a doctor in PGH, and we've been supporting her in providing PPEs. Then one thing that they're always telling us about is that yung PPE nila, ang init. Sobrang init that they won't be able to do their work. So because of that one, we're trying to develop something with nonwoven so that it still be air permeable, but still be safe for you to use, especially in making sure that you're filtering viruses. So that's how it is. And lastly, it's cost-effective and economical because it's made from polymer and much faster for us to produce. Okay? No questions? Sige. Okay, next slide please. So there are two types of nonwoven. There's spun-bond, spun-lace, and there's also melt-blown. Don't be too, tago mo muna yung picture. So next slide. So anyway, so spun-bond, spun-lace, so basically, don't be too overly, it's not as complicated. Spun-bond, basically, the polymers that we have, they're made from resin. So you melt those polymers, then you produce string-like filaments. After you produce those string-like filaments, you then squeeze it on the thermal basis and make the sheet. So yun yung nagiging tela natin. Melt-blown on the other hand is that you have polymer resin that you squeeze to naman a certain extruder. Maliit lang na extruder yun. Then there is a small nozzle that has air blowing through it. So after air blows through it, you will have a random type of filament. Then you squeeze it, then you become the actual na sheet. So to make it much simpler, so na ni sir, ang spun bond parang spaghetti. So you just make a spaghetti, you put the resin, you squeeze out the spaghetti, then spaghetti, you flatten it and make it into a material. It forms the random fibers. Melt-blown on the other hand is like cotton candy. So cotton candy, gumagawa ka ng cotton candy, rather than nakakainin mo na siya, flatten it. Once you flatten it, that's what melt-blown is. So each material, both spun bond and melt-blown, have their own special characteristics. Spun bond is much cheaper to do, easier for us to use. But the main difference between spun bond and melt-blown is that melt-blown is really much used for filtering. So it helps us filter not only yung viruses, also bacteria. That's why it's a very high material that's used for medical grade PPEs. Okay? Okay, next. Okay, what's the common misconception for nonwoven in the Philippines? Nonwoven, when you look at it, kahit saan natin makita, SM, any type of mall, it's used for eco bags. Yun talaga ang main na nakikita natin. Lahat ng eco bags natin is the more common misconception. I was also given a feedback before na we were selling nonwoven, sabi sa amin, hindi ba yan lang yung pang eco bags? Yes, it's for eco bags, but when you look at it, eco bags is just only one small portion of the whole functionality. Eco bags is just only, when you look at the whole scheme of things, it's only maybe 5% of the whole functionality of nonwoven. But definitely, since we're in our industry, we see eco bags as something that's helpful. It's the common misconception here in the Philippines. Eco bags lang yan. Now, I will share to you three main topics or three main functionalities that I think is very much related to what's happening with us now, related with our government in our country. Number one is the use of medical application. So kanina si Ms. Anna has already gave some tidbits on what nonwoven is and how it helps bio with the PPEs. Construction geotextile. So this one is because of their strength and the elongation of the material. And last is agriculture. How we use this type of tela in agriculture as well. So that's what I'm saying. It's not only garments. Garments is only one small part as well. But looking into other industries, there's something that we can do from it. Okay, shall we start? Okay, first one, medical application. So it's widely used in our PP application. A while ago, Bayo really shared to us on how it's being used. It's used for our medical grade PPE. The reason why it's used for medical grade PPE is because of the high hydrostatic head that it has on the capillary density part. So basically, since it has high hydrostatic head, it can be used to really filter out virus. And this one is not only something that you just say that is not being used, because this one is already under international medical standard and also our WHO standard. So most of our medical grade PPEs are made of nonwoven. It's made up of layers of nonwoven to be able to meet the certain requirements that we have. Medical and community face masks. So we've been in partnership with manufacturers for the ReWear project. And one thing that we've seen is that every time we go here in PTRI and test our materials, 100% sure kami that the nonwoven that we use is the one that you use for ReWear for water repellent materials. So main reason for that one is that because of its properties, you'll be able to repel water. The good thing with it is that other than repelling water, you can alter its physical and chemical properties. That's what we're working with Bio right now. We're trying to see on how to be able to add more additional properties for the nonwoven so that it can also repel alcohol, also repel blood. Once you do it that you can repel alcohol and blood, we don't have to even import outside already for our materials. We can already do everything locally. And that's our main goal. Okay, we're very much excited on that one. Then, it also has air permeability, same as what I've shared a while ago. We want to make sure that our frontliners are very much comfortable in doing their work. We don't want to add more burden to them, rather than let them focus on helping us, rather than let them give more burden to them. Lastly is anti-static properties. I was trying to ask, why do we need anti-static properties for PPEs? Apparently, in surgery, the one that you use for antiseptic is flammable. So that's why you need it to be anti-static. Pag hindi anti-static, that would be the cause of static electricity that can lead to some flammability as well. So these are just some pictures of our actual clients who was able to do PPEs. Hindi na kami kumuha ng picture kay Bayo, Miss Anna. But basically, some of our clients who've been using it, they're very much happy with it. So our next goal right now is that how are we going to bring up our standard to make it really medical in WHO standard. Once we do it like that, we'll definitely be locally sustainable already. Okay? Okay, next. Geotextile construction. So how does it work? I've talked to Miss Mirico downstairs, asked her about geotextile, how do we work. She gave me a sample. The sample that she gave to me is like a felt material. Yung felt material na yun, medyo makapal. And the reason for that was you need the tensile strength. Kaso, nung tingnan ko, ang mahal pala nun. Very expensive, it's not so cheap. It's when I try to compare it to yung textile material naman ng nonwoven, yung tensile strength nila, it's very much comparable. But the price is much lower. So how do we use it for geotextile? Three main possible uses. Number one is foundation stabilization. You want to definitely make sure that you'll be able to prevent soil erosion when you do construction. You want to make sure that you have a substrate. Make sure na hindi siya galagalaw. So that's number one. Number two is building deck waterproofing. So from the building deck waterproofing, for you to apply the waterproofing sa bubong, sa mga walls ng mga buildings, you need to have a substrate. If you do not have a substrate, sayang materials. Gamit ka lang ng gamit ng materials, maubos lahat. So use that substrate as a media for you to be able to contain the waterproofing material. And lastly is road construction. For road construction-wise, it's used to contain our cement and also our aggregates to be able to conserve our construction materials. So rather than we use more materials when nagalatag tayo ng asphalt, we can use the nonwoven first as a way for you to be able to contain it, have savings in your materials, then from there, do your actual build program. So I was trying to see, it's very much related to our whole government's program, which is the build program. Here are just some pictures of our actual activities, some diagrams that we've been working on. This one is one for the fishery. It helps to make sure that the fishery for you to be able to do containing of aggregates while doing on your construction activities. And this one is just for road activities. Okay? Okay. And last one. Okay, so last one is something that's very close to my father's heart. Basically, this one, he has been doing this for, I think, 20 years na yata. So para siyang, he's a non-woven manufacturer, but he's also a weekend farmer, yung tawag sa amin sa kanya. So anyway, non-woven fabrics is used to provide physical protection and also for cultivation. So since it's air permeable, you have local protection for your crops from insects, etc. But at the same time, it also has capillary properties, the one I shared a while ago. Since it has capillary properties, it can also be used as mulching. So mulching is when you put it to cover naman doon sa soil. Anong reason nun? If you do it as mulching, yung capillary density niya, it can contain water. So ibig sabihin nun, yung soil mo laging basa. Since laging basa yung soil mo, anong nangyayari sa kanya, it can simulate higher climate conditions, yung mga mas malalamig. It can simulate na parang sa Baguio pa, parang sa Benguet ka, etc. And it's very much proven. We were able to do this one in our backyard lang. This one is in Las Piñas. So we have an organic lettuce farm in the middle of the city, Las Piñas. Sa likod lang kami ng Robinsons. Kung tutusin. But basically, what happens here, hindi naman po. But basically, what happens here is that we were able to test the non-woven fabric and we were able to produce organic lettuce, no pesticides, and also make sure that we simulate the cool weather of Baguio and Benguet in the middle of the city. And make sure that it's also growing as well. The good thing with it is that because we do this one, hindi na siya seasonal. That means you don't need to wait for a cold weather para saka mag-plant ng lettuce. Any day, anytime pwede. So that's how it works right now. It's a very much, it's a good activity that we've been doing. It's also very much alternate to our greenhouses and also the use of chemicals, which we also do not want. Okay? Okay, so I made it quick and short because I want it more of, gusto ko lang at least makiliti naman kayo na hindi lang eco bag ang ating non-woven. So make it very much quick and short. It's more than just the common eco bag. When you look at non-woven, don't look at it as just a common eco bag. Look at it as something that's more to that, and definitely it's really something more to that. The three main items that I shared are just very small items compared to the whole bigger picture. I haven't even shared about hygienic, filtration, haven't even shared about how you use it in industry and all other requirement industry. Okay, so other than that one, so I think there's a lot of wide array to be able to support our country's economy. How we convert our tela into garments, tela into something that's useful. Now let's look at also the upstream part. How we're going to provide materials naman on the raw materials. And this one is one thing. We do have that capability and expertise. And let's develop it so that we'll be able to have something sustainable for our country. Let's not make it something that we just import from outside. Let's do it something that we do it inside, end-to-end process. We are from the upstream part, provide the raw material, then let's do the conversion and help our frontliners and help also our whole industry to be able to grow. Okay, I think that's already my last slide. Tama ba? Oh, yun na nga. So, if you have any questions, nandiyan naman. I'm not sure if I'll be able to read, but if you have any questions, just contact me. Sabi nga ni Sir Julius, nasa Facebook lang naman ako. Madali naman ako mahanap. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time again.
So thank you very much for that, Engineer Stanley. So yeah, FiveSun Global is a partner really, and not only of PTRI, but of the DTI and many other instrumentalities you'll see in the private sector also talking about their collaboration. Yeah, very interesting years ahead for non-wovens in the Philippines. I'm not at liberty. My heart's pounding, but I'm not at liberty to reveal too much details. But the DOST has keen interest as well on non-wovens and non-woven developments in the Philippines. So maybe we'll keep you updated on that and what possible and interesting things to happen in 2022. But nothing is more interesting than your backyard, Stanley. It's a huge backyard. Backyard ba yun? It's a huge backyard. But anyway, yeah, it demonstrates how we could actually just start something and then it will roll from there. So yeah, the talk of Engineer Stanley concludes the first sub-theme of the conference. It's on resiliency. And we shift back to the second speaker of the one that we started earlier, the one that should follow Ms. Ana Lagon's presentation.